Today, I am very excited to be able to bring you a comprehensive review of the most expensive car that was released with this new Doomsday Heist DLC, and that is going to be the SC1 that you guys can get for just over $1.6 million at Legendary MotorSport. So before you go out and buy it, though, you're definitely going to want to check out the review. I am going to be getting into a review of the Deluxo and the Avenger going forward. I'm not sure when those will post. And then I'm also going to be getting into a video on the new Mark II weapons. I would love to hear what you guys would like to see going forward, and I will do my best to put out a video on that. So definitely give me your suggestions in the comments section if you can. Without further delay, let's get into this. The back end of this car is definitely modeled after a BMW i8, or it looks almost identical to a BMW i8, and the front end of the car kind of looks like a Nero Custom, and it almost looks like the Nero Custom from the side. If you're familiar with that, that's a car that you guys can get at Benny's. So this car is relatively customizable with the ability to paint it two-tone and the ability to customize the trim, so you can give it that 3-tone or 4-tone look if you do change the wheel color. It does have spoiler and side skirt options, as well as the ability to lower the suspension on the car, and all of your standard transmission, engine, and other cosmetic upgrades like light upgrades and all of that stuff that you are accustomed to. This car does have a really throaty, heavy, raspy sounding engine, and it is extremely appropriate given the feel of the car, because the car has a relatively heavy feel. It's not overly heavy and cumbersome, but it does have that weighed down, like gravity is really pushing down on the car. The car does have really good traction that allows it to feel really tight while it has that really weighed down feel, but it also doesn't allow it to corner as effectively as something like the Tempesta. So I'm going to compare this car to the Tempesta, which is slightly less expensive, because they are a decent comparison. This car has problems with understeering. So when you are taking tight corners, if you don't slow down significantly or master the ability to alternate between the foot brake and the emergency brake, you are going to find the car continuing to slide forward instead of react and turn like you would like it to. So it is harder to take those tight turns. You will have problems with understeering, and it is an absolute clear issue with this car. It does have that extremely good traction and decent braking for its category, so it does feel glued to the ground, similar to something like the X80, like the Tyrus, which is pretty nice at this price point. The car does have a minor wheel spin that is going to lead to it not getting a jump as quickly as other cars, and when you compare it to the Tempesta on the airport strip, which is a small drag race, the Tempesta is going to win every time in every condition, and I tested them 10 to 15 times in identical conditions with no double clutching and with just jamming on the gas right from the get-go and then timing it up frame by frame to see which one went quicker. So the Tempesta is going to get the jump on the SC1, as you guys can see. However, the SC1 does have more torque and a slightly higher top speed, so if you're going to take it on a longer straightaway, like if you are racing somebody on the highway or just an extremely long straightaway, the SC1 will eventually catch up. If you can get down that braking and cornering with the e-brake and the foot brake, you can get around the map really quickly. I am not Bruffy. I would go refer to Bruffy if you want to see the lap times for this car, but I will tell you, in a short drag race, the Tempesta will win because of that minor initial wheel spin. However, this car does have a very nice feel to it. I don't want to undersell it because it has that understeering issue, but it's definitely something that can't be ignored. It can be looked at in two ways. It's great for not losing control when you're coming up steep hills and you gain some air with the car. When you come back down on the ground, it's a lot easier to not overcompensate and find yourself spinning out. And it's a lot easier to control the car when you come back down, so that is really nice. But when it does come to cornering, it's going to be more difficult. You're not going to have nearly as much of a slidey feel to it, and it's going to be harder to corner as effectively when you really do get it up to speed. It has good braking for its price, for its category in comparison to the Tempesta. It's pretty much where it should be, but it does have that really tight, heavy feeling that feels just like a heavier version of the Tempesta with understeering issues, where the Tempesta will have an oversteering issue. Given that the back end does tend to sway out a little bit more, this car you will not have that issue with. So this car has slightly less acceleration. It does have that understeering issue. It has excellent traction, braking that is definitely on par for its category. So if it were up to me and I had to go buy one of these two cars, personally, I would go out and buy the Tempesta. It's just my personal opinion, but I would prefer the car that accelerates slightly quicker and I can get it around corners a little more effectively. I have driven this car enough to be able to corner well with it. That's not to say that if I don't drive the SC1 that I might not get better at it, though I spent about 5 or 6 hours driving it and stayed up for like 24 hours straight testing it between that and the Deluxo and the Avenger. So I've gotten some decent time in with it, and I will say I would recommend going out and buying the Tempesta if you don't have it over this car. However, this car is definitely worth a look at if you are into the qualities that I described and you think that it's a decent value at that price. So on an aside note, I don't know if you guys have noticed how large your fucking facility is, but you will find yourself jamming on X and jamming on X so you can run through it and get to the heist room and run around and do what you need to do and fill up on snacks. I think it would be really nice if Rockstar would just give us the ability to add those little wheels on the end of your heels, those shoes, the heelys, where you can just pop the wheels up and then you can zoom around the fucking facility. Add that shit. If I can afford a facility, why can't I afford a Segway, a bicycle, or some fucking heelys? So I will gladly pay $500,000 if you give me some shoes with some fucking heels so I can stop jamming on X and so I can instead jam right on the D-pad so that I can use the wheels and turn them off and on. So it's just a thought. I know it's never going to happen. So if you guys like this video, definitely slap a like on it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you like straightforward Grand Theft Auto Online content that is refreshing and straight to the point, then definitely subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, guys. Looking forward to doing the videos going ahead. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.